This is an idea that I've been thinking a lot from the get-go, like from the start of like let alone this YouTube channel, but just in general, like in my life, ever since I got into philosophy, I thought of this idea a lot, like bunch of things. And I never really put into one single conclusion. So I um wanted to kind of make a conclusion, like a result, like what my belief is, what's the core ideas and main values are. So I even wrote some script from the scratch. I I'm not gonna like read it out loud, obviously, but I read it like a bunch of times so that I just know what to talk about, not like other videos. But I jumble and yap about literally 10 different topics and never get into one specifically. So the point is, so like my belief, like you'll never get a final answer. You know, you end up kind of stuck in the gap between wanting to believe in something and not quite being able to, unless you blindfold yourself into it. It's basically, I think my YouTube info, I wrote it fair. Like either you live in like sit in uncertainty, or you blindfold yourself. Camus, my favorite philosopher, called that move philosophical suicide, like deceiving yourself into treating a belief as real, because you can't live with the alternative. That gap is close to nihilism, but it isn't nihilism exactly. It's just refusing to lie to yourself about that gap, like unknowing and kind of void. And I've been thinking about this like um, at the gym lately, where I do my like best thinking. Like here's like the let's say like the argument I keep running into from thinkers I respect, and like from religious teachers alike. Let's say like submitting to something higher than yourself gives you a comfort that self-made belief cannot. But also like if you build your own let's say worldview, you can always compromise it. It's yours, so you can bend it. Like your discipline never comes from your let's say like from yourself, like your inside like soul. Let's say like it comes from rules you gave yourself and can just as easily take back. You know, and like if your own meaning is something like a net worth number or subscriber count, I don't know, like you're trapped into like you're trapped either way, like chasing it miserable, and hitting it is worse because like then you have to like invent a new goal just to avoid the void again. Like that's the what was it, like the hedonic treadmill that lots of people talk about in Instagram and everywhere else. Like not fulfillment, you know, just deprivation and relief on a loop, like this cycle. Like another thing, like consciousness makes this even worse. Questioning your beliefs sounds very virtuous at first, but like push it far enough and it strips literally everything down to nihilism, like which I think is a big part of why self-loathing, it's like self-hatred, is so common in this generation. I myself am guilty of this as well. We have too many opinions. I mean, I'm the options, my bad. Like no real forced responsibility, and the baseline of survival is basically guaranteed if you live somewhere developed, you know, developed country. So like the itch isn't survival; it's needing something to actually like a firm ground to stand on. Religion, on the other hand, like I'll admit, it's probably the most tested answer humans have ever built. Like it's not free comfort. You study for it, you earn the community, so it feels less like something you picked up and more like something you gained. Like that's real. But I think there are two kinds of people: those who can genuinely submit, who actually feel God as real, not as a symbol, and those like me who just can't. Like the second type can go to church, do the rituals, like get real comfort from the community, but they'll never fully believe it because the beliefs belief is functioning as a tool, like not a truth. Like I know that it's the way how it's operated, not like I feel the God kind of thing. I think of it as a cope, like not an insult. I think every belief system, including my own, is some kind of a cope. Just some are better than others. Like obviously, you can compare Christianity, let's say, one of the most famous. I mean, yeah, most famous. Let's say that's not the word, quite not the word that I'm looking for, but like with the most famous religion, and if you compare with some kind of like nihilism or like socialism kind of thing, fascism, then obviously you can argue like this is better than the other, but it gets really tricky and kind of vague, like what you are what's the standards as to say as like you to say like which is better, like in what ways is this better than the other. Like the flaw in building your own, like my own values, is that you can always compromise them, as I said, but the flaw in borrowing someone else's, including God's, is literally the same. Like you still have to convince yourself it's real enough to hold onto. So like here's my actual answer, or the closest thing to one. Like I tested it on myself by asking why I go to the gym. A simple question, I could give a dozen of good answers, reasons, aesthetic, health, because I want to look better, like aesthetic again, but like none of them explain why it has to be this specifically. Why does it have to be gym specifically? Like the honest answer is just it feels good. you know I love the music, I love the ideas that show up mid set, seeing the change in the mirror after the pump. I can't justify that objectively. It's just true for me. It happens to me. It makes me feel a lot better. I feel like I'm a lot better human, better person after I finish a session every single day. And I think that's exactly what religious belief is doing for most people too. Like not proof, maybe yes for some, like just a feeling so strong, like it doesn't really need proof. And I don't think that's dishonest. Like as long as you're honest about it, just like Soren, was it Soren Kierkegaard, or I think it was Dostoevsky. He's also one of my favorite philosophers, but he once said in one of his books, like even if at the end he realizes, he learns that Christ isn't real, like Jesus isn't real, God isn't real, like Christ isn't real, so on and so forth. Even if Christianity is on the wrong hand, on the wrong side, I will still believe in it. And I think that's such a like in hindsight, do we call it? At first, when I read that phrase, I was like, this is such a weird thing to say. Like it's literally admitting that even though this idea is wrong, I will still follow it. And it's like, for me, that sounded like a philosophical suicide again. Like that's literally blindfolding yourself. You're admitting that I will just close my eyes about this matter. And I think that's just being now that I see it, it's a lot being like just honest about like the things that you are so convinced and you think that this is like the truth, about this world. So my actual position right now, like you don't get a final answer, and I don't think you're supposed to. If something keeps you alive, keeps you motivated, and doesn't hurt anyone else, I think you should just stick with it and stop uh questioning, like interrogating yourself, or that thing, that idea to death. Like it doesn't have to be God. In my case, I'm still testing other beliefs, still open to something clicking. Like that's fine too. I think like testing is its own kind of faith for me. So I in one of in my videos I talked about like question everything, question your belief in kind of things, or sitting with uncertainty is also uncertainty by all it means. So I know how it sounds like, but I think that's the kind of like that's my religion, that's my faith in testing and keep on questioning yourself and not trying to be a fool who just gets handed handed down, do we call it? Like you just handed down your religion or your idea, and you just don't even know what you are actually believing or what um, costume we are wearing, and you just follow it just because your parents tell you to, or you just the vast majority of people in your country do the same. I seriously don't think that's the way I want to live, and I think that's my faith, my religion. Just like how Christians or Muslims, a bunch of other people have their own faith and religion. I mean, their, I'll say, core ideas and belief. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. It got pretty simple, but share your opinions in under the comment, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day, guys.